Hello everyone, welcome to SwitchUp. My name is Glenn, and today I have been looking through the eShop for you to try and find a game for every budget. I have here for you 10 games ranging from £1 something up to £10 something and everything in between, and I will put the EU or US prices on the screen as well for you so you can see the equivalent price for your region. I must admit I was actually quite surprised at how many games had released on the Switch that I'd forgotten about completely, and for good prices too. I'm also quite pleasantly surprised at how many different genres I've been able to cover via the games on this list, ranging from quick, easy and pick up and play arcade games, to shoot 'em ups, to RPGs, to Metroidvanias and platformers. Right, with all that being said, let's get into the list. Okay, starting in the £1 range then, and the first game is a game called Timberman Versus. Now this is very much an arcade game, challenging you to chop the tree as many times as you can before being hit by a branch. I'll be honest, I was expecting this to be the very definition of shovelware when I played it about a year ago now, but actually found it strangely addictive, wanting to beat my high score every time. There's also an online mode as well, and for £1.79 you can do a lot worse than this game. Into the £2 bracket now then, and we have at £2.69 Night Terrors. This is an endless runner, which there are quite a few of on the Switch to be fair, but this one's done very well. It has about 4 different gameplay modes. It does its gameplay hook very well and has you constantly wanting to try again to get that bit better, that bit further than last time. You need to defeat enemies as you go along, and being hit or missing an enemy will cost you a strike, 3 strikes and you lose, and you have to start again. This is actually one of my favourite little arcade games on the Switch and well worth its price. Okay, into the £3 range now, and at £3.59, which is an absolute steal by the way, you have the Gunman Clive HD Collection. Now the Gunman Clive games were on the 3DS and the Wii U, as well as other consoles I'm sure. I played them on the 3DS. They're only short games, they won't last you very long. They're run and gun games in the style of something like a Mega Man, I suppose you could say, with a very interesting aesthetic in terms of the colours it uses. The production values on these games are significantly higher than the price being asked, and at £3.59, this is an absolute steal. Okay, next up we have the £4 range, and at £4.49 we have One Strike. Now One Strike is a very interesting game. It's a one-on-one fighter, but it's not one in the traditional way of something like a Street Fighter or a Mortal Kombat. You don't have a life bar. You need to hit your opponent first to win, and that's it. It's the person that strikes first, hence the name, that gets the victory. Mark and I played a fair bit of this one in multiplayer, and it's a lot of fun. I think he compared it to Bushido Blade on the PlayStation, although I never played that game. It did remind me very much though of some of the older fighters, things like Barbarian or International Karate Plus on the Commodore 64. Okay then, next we have the £5 range, and coming in just at the end of that £5, at £5.99, I've chosen one of the Sega Ages games, and that is Outrun. To be honest, I could have picked pretty much any of these. I absolutely love the Sega Ages games. I've gone for Outrun though, as it's a game I love playing, I love coming back to. I'm sure quite a lot of you have played this game by now. If you haven't, it's a fantastic racing game where you race against time and need to get to the checkpoint before the time runs out. It's an absolute classic, and at £5.99 it's a great addition to your Switch collection. Okay, into the £6 range then, and this was one of the two hardest ranges to pick for. I've gone for one of the Hamster Neo Geo releases at £6.29, and this is Blazing Star. Now, Blazing Star is one of my favourite shoot 'em ups ever. The graphical style holds up to this day. It's a very intense shooter. It's not a bullet hell shooter by any stretch, and that's absolutely fine by me. You can take it at your own pace. It's not as punishingly hard as some games, but it's not easy by any stretch either. It's a game that I play through 3, 4, maybe 5 times a year. I love coming back to this one. But even if you're not a fan of this game or shooters, have a look at some of those Hamster releases at £6.29 or your regional equivalent. There's some absolute classics in there, there really are. Into the £7 range now then, and from one category that was very hard to pick for to one that was very easy, this game is Gateau Roboto. Now, this is a Metroidvania with a ZX Spectrum art style, which I really enjoyed. I like the simplicity of it, although I would understand if some people were put off by that. It clocks in at about 3 to 4 hours, which I know again doesn't sound very long, but for me it was perfect just to play something that I could finish in a couple of sittings without my attention being stolen away and never being able to finish it. If you're looking for something short and sweet, but that's a whole lot of fun along the way, then this may be worth checking out. Have a look at my review if you want a bit more information. Now, the £8 bracket was probably the most difficult one to choose for. There's actually a lot of very good games, priced at about £8.99 or about €9, €99. I went for a game called Future Grind, which is an endless runner of sorts, I suppose, where you need to ride a futuristic motorbike across various coloured rails, changing the colour of each wheel to be able to latch onto rails of the same colour. It has a futuristic story, and it plays a little bit like Uni Rally or Uni Racers depending on your region, back on the Super Nintendo for those of you that remember that game. This is another one I reviewed, and I think maybe this one went under the radar a little bit. It's a decent game actually, and for high score chases it may be worth your time. Right, into the £9 range then, and this one is literally on the dot, £9, and it's West of Lovan. This is an RPG set in the Wild West with a very, very unique stickman animation style. It's a very humorous game as well in terms of its writing. Mark reviewed this one for us a while ago now actually, and he really enjoyed it, and this would be my pick for the £9 price range. Final game then, and coming in the £10 bracket, and at £10.79 we have the Adventure Pals. The Adventure Pals is a platform game. It's got a very bright and colourful aesthetic. The characters have that funny sort of animation style where it looks like their limbs are joined by split pins, a bit like the Scribblenauts game, something like that. This is one of those games that I forgot was even on the Switch, despite the fact I own it physically, and I certainly didn't realise it was quite as cheap as this. This is a decent price for this game for sure. And it does go to show just how many games, good games, have been buried on the Switch because of the abundance of new releases we get every week on the eShop. Anyway, that's my 10 picks for gaming on a budget. One game from every bracket from £1 all the way up to 10. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please do remember to leave a like if you did, and if there is enough demand and people have enjoyed the video enough, then this may well become a regular series, because as I've said a couple of times in the video already, there are some absolute bargains to be had on the Switch, games that have been out for a while that people probably forgot even came out, and it would be nice to try and highlight some of them. Anyway, a quick thank you to our patrons as always for your continued support, and to each and every one of you for watching our videos. Take care, and until next time, happy gaming.
And of all I should have done,